I listened to what Elon Musk had to say for himself. It left a strange melancholy in me, like the fine, unblemished blanket of new snow, silently attesting to my fondness for you. Your silken dick, the way you rubbed your eye sockets against my eye sockets, the way we kissed eye sockets, strange eyes, and you saw my secret face. Machine learning, the palace of my meditative mind. I peeled an orange on the attic floor after finishing writing this poem. That happened in the future. I kissed you again. Oh, fuck. Happy New Year, everybody. Approximating the vibe at the Poetry Project on New Year's Day, not at all. Nevertheless, I kissed you again, thinking, he's no good for me. They're never good for me, but they do evoke poetry. You delight me. I chose you. White sleeping belly, swollen Saturn finger, making unimpressive excuses for yourself. Peeling my pants off on the kitchen floor. Answering questions my secret face did not ask. In the King's English, in the beautiful speech of this century, and finally, in the dangerous language of love.
The loudest instrument at the beginning of looking for the magic is the room. Big, loomed emptiness. Perfectly ample. Negative sounds for the keys to rev against. Must create a site for bliss for it to be possible. Imagine wanting to be awake. Imagine the shape of the clothesline running through the clouds. The whole point is prohibition. Diffusion. Hunt and dispersal. You would have me killed. Me, the informer. Many people's phobia is who is behind the curtain. Not some green old man, Oz, but the audience itself. Mirror. And to think you all recoil your beautiful cheeks every day, who try making space for the possible and fail with the embarrassment of a hawk.
Hey empath, Shut up. It's a perfect song. The Home Depot parking lot at sunset. My heart may lose, but I'll never go home. I get the melting candle feeling. Can't go back, not willing to be delivered from frivolous use. Throat chakra violence, or worse. Shut up. Stand still, or the moment will eclipse you. A schedule would make me time's own guillotine. When I'm outside your house, I feel prayer on my hands. The start of a lonely secret. What even is a promise ring? I once dated a bag of chips. Full circle to worship nothing. The power of a limited edition.
I'm Katie Brunero. In a cramped city park, giving advice to your outgrown babysitter. Gloria, you are not the ice clinging to the railing of your parents' trailer, nor the slugs that writhe to life between smoky July and bitter hot June. You flip over a body bristling with 5 tarot swords. So what? Life is not all peonies in spring. It gets cut short by the yellow rush of a taxi, falling pianos, cancer from everything, even cake. And our hearts have the right to pound loud if they want. Let's live. Get up, Gloria, get up. Let's go sneak shots of the chapel's blessing water. You can taste the guilt. It tastes good. It goes down easier than I ever believed. And I remember you so innocent that time at your father's liquor cabinet, shaking the Goldschlager, insisting the flakes were real, would make us rich if we reached them. Fantastic pleasures. Someone, somewhere, is living your dream, basking in the glow of mint green wallpaper and laughing, leaning into her first soda fountain makeout with a girl all Old Spice and bubblegum. While outside the pharmacy window, Savannah's Spanish moss dips towards a dusky cemetery seraph, holding thin yellow leaves, fetid bird-shit water, and half-smoked butts in a pool of her fingers, head tilted down, trying not to smile. Thank you.
Of all the dresses with sweat stains in the world, hot, heuristic, and eponymous, or the adroitness of somersaults, give it up. Upsetting the entire world by way of reference to the night as a horse time after time, and rook as gasp castle, half of endgame, the candy wrapper, look at that shadow, oh, never mind, a proper noun, pied. The Viking ship building has a little Viking ship mailbox. Fast galloping toward a blur. No strategy, only ambience. Are you tossing your tombstone? Yeah, do you want it? Deep in the checkered moss of a bedside stream, scat approximated by its nearness to the prince, fidgeting forever under the tablecloth, in the birthday restaurant chosen for its mound of wax, used historically to fool cops, candle as alarm, and decipher, grasshopper, night rider, cannon, fairy problem, devotee, I make a reservation over the phone, reverse chariots, and mistakenly add saint to the name, and the host adds saint to the name in return. Pawn taps pawn, the tablecloth of final meals, in your corner, never empty, always possible, staring hard at the ice underfoot, measured always by the 1 year width, The threshold between knowing and not knowing is that too. And yes, the information is available, but like a public secret left alone, why extinguish its snoring wick now? Why saw a little hole for looking? Why wonder less or more when it's already this much?
Hi. Thank you so much to everyone at the Poetry Project for putting this together. I'm so sad that we can't all get together for the marathon this year, but I'm really excited to watch and listen to everyone's readings and performances. So I'm super excited about that. I'm going to read 2 poems. The first one's called Badlands. Letting orgons be orgons on the isolated plain. Yogurt, rice, and the oven ignites. All Strand employees fired. You wouldn't call drives unconscious choices. Maybe you're drawn to something, right? Your past patterns are drawing you. It's relationally inscribed. It's where you got your care from. It's tickle of the familiar, the hideous smallness. Keychain kaleidoscope might spell some kind of end. You draw a card for boundaries, and meanwhile, magnet in one hand, book in the other, ice crystal and ventilators shaking the basement of the house. The fool hermit touches each end of the life cycle and works valiantly, bolstered by intuitive thievery, to manage the library. Time really is doing insane and unauthorized tricks. A lot of those involved in psychic labor and related practices report insane energies, vibrations, and unmistakable shifts. Open nerved wires start following me home. That's my first clue. Then several coincidences related to reading lots of Dodie Bellamy when I did. Then several incidences involving the Rider-Waite moon card. The mother scream, tricking a slow reveal. Unlucky uvula penduluming for us with our perfect legs, young and blank in the face. Gasoline from the privilege of grass. Baby fuzz growing on the windows of cars, where the drops race each other in a mystic competition. Time, unfortunately, stealing bits of language from us already. Time eating at the edges, Langolier style. Time firing all the workers and roughing them up a little. I imagine my employer is a little sad. We can't clock in with our biodata anymore. This is a loss of time for data all over the world. Time and data right now, gripping each other, choleric, frenzied in a colic, love for love. I'm excited now, more than ever, for the idea of the small amount of Molly we have hoarded in a pill bottle. Each day I feel guilty and free in my apartment. You can wear the hat of who you want to be, to buy. Exhaustion, sagging, hag-browed, bags bundle-bunched. Second and tertiary commutes hurt the worst. Without transit time, I'm losing parts of my personality, gaining others. I caught the neighbors doing yard work in the dark. Amplified amphetamine stress is more available. Partnered to writing out schedules, gel penning, constant future reality, putting a verbal distance on whatever decision was left hanging in the parable, currently in the hell descriptor. Thirds no longer apply. And then my second poem is called Earth Neck Hickey. Numbered animals appear across the listening. Call back to ice fishing. I really don't want to hear people go, woo, woo, right now, but forced myself to listen to it. Ego dystonic, woo, woo. Foolhardy marigold poem, but not an indictment of brain ooze. I can see the people biking in your poems, across the skylights, different sunsets peeking from above the seasoned head. Spring has the ability to do this. Concrete promiscuity, pre-dictionary fear of the word. Mélange à toi. Callback to a book. Felicitous callback. In our new shuttered pastures, where sheep are divided like pre-utopians, and the bookstores are closed, libraries avenued. What will we do with our new relations? This is what I'm beginning to hear. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Oh, hi there. This is a poem called In Praise of Nonexistence. At the start of the meeting, Roberto and I agree that this will be the rest of our lives. A dead summer in mid-October, damp streets, hot anachronistic air. I could smell the profanity of my interior before it was cool, and I was lonely before loneliness was a necessary feature of public safety. Watching my worry, a friend remarks that bearing tandem housing and medical crises, they hope we never go back. This sparks a galaxy where E and I make each other come via text-based instant messenger. Oh my God, she says. Text back, yeah. I ask her to tell me what she's doing, and she tells me what she wants, then lets me tell her what to do, when what she's really telling me is that she knows what I want, but nothing ever happens. Omar Caceres dies in a ditch with his head cracked open by assailants unknown for reasons unknown. In my latest dream, we run into each other at a coffee shop, and you grab my arm as a sort of greeting, then reveal you have a boyfriend, maybe even 6. Rain drops 1,000 tiny glassworks on the roadway, each a blip phasing in and out of the world onto new unfolding realities, like one where E and I are waiting Flatbush Ave. As the rain feels out the distance, E cries above the slog, "This is not our narrative." Omar Caceres sets fire to copies of his lone collection, citing typographical errors. In another dream, there are 2 of you, but I seem to know the second, while identical, is another person entirely. In the next, I make some discovery about myself that dissipates with the slow of my chest and my eyes' agreement with the light. In this reality, we are living in the future. As the present demands, we plot a tomorrow very much like our recent past, and just as far gone, the moment, as it were, brands a collapse between yearnings toward and regrets for. No, I hope we never go back. Embrace a fogginess always there, revert the memory to a longing and the longing back to blood. No, this is no courage. I want to prove you don't exist, or at the very least, make you stop smiling. To revert the gestures minding my scream, what allows for the distance time affords to be so sunk by impossibility. Omar Caceres describes to a poet his urge to define the true situation of his eye in space and time, though now the man seems to hardly exist at all. To be lonely is to be outside of time and space, like closeness with bodies moving. Dream shapes the memory, defunct, like air, growing hotter and hotter every year. Both. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Hi Poetry Project, Happy New Year. I wish that we could all be gathered together at the church, but until we can't, I hope everyone's okay and staying healthy and safe and taking care of themselves and each other in the ways we're currently able. And I'll just read 3 short poems. Herco Duet. 1. I understood my life meant nothing, still it spilled in every corner, light a siphon futuring this lake. 2. There's nothing grand about a jeté, nor a body out a window, the body literal, a ray. Untitled Duet. Perfect Lovers, 1991. 1. I understood my time here wasn't real, but I was with it. Body boring head first into light. I'm here. I came exactly right. 2. You slept so well beside me, swore I heard time crack its real imaginary back. And Black Painting Duet. 1. In the end, Rothko and Goya were both concerned with human terror. Making 14 pieces each, they died, demanding that their paintings be displayed in constant daylight. 2. Listen to me. Life is never really ending. I was never really here.
Hi, my name is Andrea, Abi-Karam, and I'm one of the co-editors of We Want It All. I'm going to read my 2 poems that are in the anthology. To the cop who read my text messages, I still remember your face, white and pink and soft with gray hair. You could be my poetry professor, my sugar daddy if you held another symbol of power between your thick hands, knuckles throbbing, adrenaline pumping, with the excitement of finally catching me. If you held a book or your cock instead of a baton coming after me, I lust after the moment I can become invisible and plunge a screwdriver into your eyeball, the one on the left that glimpsed me from around the corner of the building whose shade I sprinted under, a screwdriver with a flat head to scrape against the inside of your skull, while your left eye watches from a crack in the sidewalk. I have tools too. Hold my hands. 1. You made me want to get fucked intensely and anonymously, hands slow, cock hard, in bright fallen light, break through the gauzy exterior of street lamps at the edge of the water at night, the kind that eclipses depth perception, making everything so much more immediate amongst the lies the institution told me. Desexualizing intimacy is a failure of visibility. 2. The gradual interiority of watching someone flip pages and pages of photos of the one you love, personal collapse, slide into icon. I wake early, ready for a fight. I wake early, ready for a fuck. Sometimes I think they are just the same gesture between us, the way the visual notebook clicks. 3. We sit close, and revel in this static proximity pressed up against DW's visual mausoleum. People enter and exit the grid mid-loop. We wait for the loop to repeat, anti-linearity of water falling upwards. Famous gays are only pristine when they're dead. 4. Quick cut off. 5. We sit in between gallery walls, facing others, oriented transit parallel, recordings of DW sprawl out along the tempered light, non-stop with the weight of mortality, immateriality, hopeless rage. I want to grab your hand, close the blanks between bodies and present mourning of the decades of queer bodies propelled toward death by state-sanctioned abandonment. Air bears heavy electric net of implication in the next phase of queer history. Refuse the archive, demand the immediacy of extensions. Press sharp, we breathe the same heavy air of rage. Press play, amps crackle with loss, loosened and looping. 6. Coins cascade down onto my face, embrace for impact, keep eyes open to see where the glisten lands. They recoil on my cheeks and my eyelids and my hollows, mirrored each shadow holding a loss at its corners. I let the elasticity of the screen stretch over me, taut, and hope I can still breathe. I wield my queerness like a leather jacket, sexy and resilient, that fine brittle line between visibility and surveillance. But God, your spite spiked leather motorcycle heels are turning me on through the window of incomplete desire. These zippers make me wet. I bite my lower lip and make direct eye contact with the cycles of production until it grinds up against me. I reveal my hardness in the space left between red suture drawing your lips together. Blood and cum form rivulets down your chin, caught by my tongue along carotid. I open up in heavy prep to get fucked by late stage cap non-stop for 8 hours, feeling your hard cock then frame shift, click. 7. I love to watch the planes over New York from my roof, little light grids of transit hanging low in the sky. Come on, pick me up like you did last night at the leather bar. The shadows of anonymity exceed identity politics for a few hours. 8. Xerox, former self. 9. Quick cut. 2. Thank you.
Museum of Natural History. You see yourself in the glass enclosure. Touch what is clearly marked. Don't.
Anim Boju, Mina Oshki Baboon. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us for the Poetry Project's New Year's Day Marathon. My name is Nicole Wallace, and I am joining you all tonight from occupied Lenape and Canarsie territories in what is currently called Brooklyn, New York. I'm going to read one poem, and this poem is called Niwin. A presence hangs amongst these shifts, flicker, green, blue. Nongong, Wabang, Bijanago, Beka, Beka, Beka. How as if the weight turns a way of repetition, and still, Jesus, 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 Jesus. And now, tonight, this green. What games do you have to play in order to do what you need? As in, it is what it is not. Gido dewa, gado dewa, gawesa. What we meant, what we are meant to carry, blue, green. There's no distinguishing upon this account. Go easy upon this account, as if that were something, space held by a shadow, blue, green, when there is only one word for. Chimigwech, Happy New Year, everybody, and take good care.
Thank you so much. That was great. All right. Next up, we have Laura Henriksen. Please join me in welcoming Laura Henriksen. Thank you. It's so good to be here with you all tonight at the Poetry Project. Sorry, I should read on my phone. This poem is called Visible Aerosol. We heard the knocking, but we didn't let it in. Pretending not to be afraid doesn't work for very long. My friends arrive on horse and in trouble. They said they'd seen a dastard's forest. My friends, we abstracted the problem. White roses, forever unfurling. I grew tired of speaking in pictures of me in houses I rarely visit and never leave. I felt the wind, my only friend trying to kill me. Whenever I want attention, I get mad at myself. Every day my mom sends me more information about what the moon is doing and the health of her dogs. My friend shivered at the garden entrance. My candy melted on the drive, and when I got there I didn't get more, although I did think about it. Whenever the idols spoke, I heard a ringing, and whenever we spoke of idols, a crisis followed. Which causeway brought you to the quarry, a sound you hear and won't hear again? Learn about metals and think about dirt, a spot blooming, but into what? My friends, flowers are already dying. Everything's relative to trash. This is crazy, said someone of something not crazy at all. We shared it, the secret, spread out like a picnic across Saturday's graveyard. I say, I don't mind waiting, but really I refused to. I was leaving. My friends made claims unfounded. My friends spent Memorial Day weekend in a hotel watching cable with one eye and with the other forming pictures of the vanished hopes of other people. You do look cool with that Marlboro. Don't listen to them. There are so many things you don't know until afterwards, and even that is assuming a lot. Don't let it be over, I said to the movie, like that isn't the whole tragedy of duration. A shyness bloomed over me as I held my horses, my tardy friends. They brought me this picture of a waterfall. You can barely see it through the fog. Thank you. Happy New Year.